The Lion King, one of Disney's highest grossing films of all time, is back on the big screen, but this time it's been given the live action treatment. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to ADP Reviews. My name is Asher, and today I'm giving you my review of the 2019 remake of The Lion King. I haven't done many reviews on Disney's live action adaptations, even though I've seen most of them. But if you'd like my thoughts, know that to me these remakes have been a very mixed bag. For example, I hated the live-action Beauty and the Beast, but I absolutely love the live-action Jungle Book and think it's even better than the original, in my opinion. The others are kinda hit and miss. Some I like, some I don't, but we're not here to talk about those. We're here to talk about The Lion King 2019. Directed by Jon Favreau, who directed the 2016 Jungle Book, The Lion King has been receiving mixed reviews so far. Some are calling it a landmark in CGI technology and a faithful adaptation of the original. Others are saying it doesn't do enough differently, and that because the animals look more realistic, the expressions on their faces are not as big and easy to read. So, what do I think? Well, I think that Disney's going to be making bank this year, but let's talk about the plot for the two of you who've never heard of The Lion King. In the heart of Africa, a young lion prince named Simba is born to Mufasa, voiced once again by James Earl Jones, and Sarabi, voiced by Alfre Woodard, who rule from Pride Rock as King and Queen of the Jungle. Simba, voiced by G.A.D. McCrary and Donald Glover, is next in line to become king. However, his ruthless uncle and brother to the king, Scar, voiced by Chiwetel Ejiofor, plans on seizing the throne for himself by overthrowing Mufasa and getting rid of Simba. Through a journey of tragedy, love, and self-discovery, Simba, along with his childhood friend Nala, voiced by Shahadi Wright Joseph and Beyonce Knowles, a wisecracking meerkat named Timon, voiced by Billy Eichner, and a friendly warthog named Pumbaa, voiced by Seth Rogen, must step forward to defend the Pride Lands before all hope is lost. So, what did I like about this movie? First of all, the size, scale, and visuals. Regardless of whether you like or dislike this movie, you would be out of your mind to overlook the absolutely majestic visual style of this film. CGI technology has come so far. These animals look absolutely photorealistic. Every little speck of dirt, sand, or dust just adds to the realism of the experience. I had no problem believing any of these animals were actually there on screen. Second, most of the voice cast is a home run. James Earl Jones returns as the voice of Mufasa, so you know you're going to get a fantastic voice performance from him. Donald Glover and Beyonce both do fantastic in speaking their lines as well as singing them. And unlike with the Aladdin remake, the villain is given the proper menacing voice he deserves. Even though Chiwetel Ejiofor is no Jeremy Irons, his voice is still deep and menacing enough to provide the character of Scar with an extremely menacing presence. My favorite bit of casting in this film, however, is John Oliver as Zazu. I miss Rowan Atkinson from the original, but Oliver does a fantastic job supplying the character with humor, heart, and the uppity British snobbishness from the original. Third, the music. Yeah, I know these songs were already written and done in the original, but the remastering of Hans Zimmer's orchestral score and the lyrics of Tim Rice and Elton John are done spectacularly well, with one exception that I'll get to in a moment. Even though the visuals during a lot of the songs are subdued, I mean, you know the remake isn't going to show Simba on top of a tower of dancing animals while he sings, the energy of the songs themselves are much more in line with the energy of the original score. And having two fantastic singers in Donald Glover and Beyonce Knowles is just icing on the cake. So, now on to some of the stuff that I didn't care for. First, while most of the cast did great, some of the cast was less impressive. None of them were really bad, but they didn't do a whole lot for me. For example, the hyenas are way less funny in this film. Jon Favreau stated in an interview that they toned down the humor of the hyenas to make them more vicious. But to me, what made the hyenas great in the original film was that they were stupid and they joked around, but they could be vicious at a moment's notice. This meant that we could get just as much comedy from them as we could get ferocity. Timon and Pumbaa are also a bit more downplayed in this version too. They still make a ton of jokes, and while a lot of them are funny, some of them don't really land, and the chemistry between the actors playing them is a bit lacking if you ask me. Second, the song Be Prepared is ridiculously underwhelming. It's cut extremely short and is sung at a much slower pace than it should be. This isn't a huge loss to me because Be Prepared was never my favorite song on the soundtrack, but it is a fantastic villain song and I was sad to see it butchered. Third, Rafiki is very underused in this film. John Connie does a fantastic job with the voice, but so much of his humor and one major scene between he and Simba is cut from the film. I'm not gonna lie, it kinda ticked me off. If you see the film, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the worst and most irredeemable part of this movie is this scene isn't in it. Seriously, Disney, how could you not include this? Shame on you. But with all that said, I really did enjoy this movie. It's got some issues and the original is still better, but if you love The Lion King, you'll probably enjoy this movie. It's definitely one of the better Disney remakes in my opinion. I give Lion King 2019 3.5 stars out of 5. It's a good film with a couple of flaws that to some might be more grievous, but to me personally, I don't have a lot to complain about here. But let me know what you guys think. Go check it out and see if you find this experience slimy yet satisfying.